Welcome to Constantly Calibrating. I'm your host, Brad, and this week we have some news from PAX, because that's where Justin was. Justin, welcome home.
Hey, thank you. I'm tired. My legs hurt. Everything else hurts too.
Everything? Wow, that
Dude,
sounds
everything.
like some stories we don't need.
I'll share them though.
I'm sure you will. Also, we have Ryan.
I'm tired and my legs hurt too.
Woo!
For different reasons, but
Fair enough. And
that's not.
we have Fallout Mask Pluto Josh with roaring in the background. Who
It sounds like you didn't really even want to get that out.
I'm watching him with worry because he's climbing towards the bookshelf, and I'm like, is he gonna crawl up the bookshelf there? And okay, he's got him. I'm good.
So, like, you know those puppy cams they have? That's Josh's thing right now.
So Josh will be with us as soon as he can. He's solo dadding at the moment, and the child does not feel 100%. So that's understandable. The effort is
Do we have to
definitely
pay more credits for Josh to come back on, or is that how this works?
He's the extra DLC that they didn't plan for later on after the season pass. So
Nice.
that little extra tweak of milk that they want you to get out. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about PAX PAX East.
Yes.
I will save Logan for Josh when he comes in, because he had something to say about Logan. We have something here from a Kotaku article about console repair that we wanted to touch on. Should big companies be forced to offer spare parts repair kits for consumers and independent repairmen? I did not really read the article, but I have a generic answer for that offhand. I don't think that you should have to, as a original manufacturer, provide those. However, I think you should be forced to provide the instructions on how to make those up to specification once you stop producing it, if someone's willing to buy it.
I think, like, for example, HP printers or a lot of their products, they actually have a complete breakdown of the product, like blown out maps. Why can't they do that for consoles?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if somebody's willing to go to the trouble of producing, like, parts for an old NES and parts for, a Sega Genesis, whatever, I think as long as they pay the company a modest minimal fee, like nothing extravagant, just like, hey, here's the plans, you can make them, you have our blessing, but, they're your responsibility. We're not going to touch anything other than giving you the plans.
Well, the way it kind of stands right now is that most companies have like a monopoly on repairs for everything. So let's say the disk drive on your Xbox screws up, you have to send it to them. And I mean, even the article talks about this a little bit, where, you have to send it to Microsoft, and then you'll end up paying, God knows what, in order to try and get it fixed. Kind of what the article is saying is, they're going to have like a right to repair bill, meaning it'll, give the independent guys a little more footing when it comes to what they can do as far as, getting the parts and everything. Because right now, if you need an Xbox disk drive, you can't call 1-800-XBOX and, get them to send you one. You have to go to, CD Chinese importer X and hope you get the right thing after paying however much you pay for it. And then, you have like the CD stuff. Kind of what this is going to do is, not necessarily make it where they have to offer, the parts or the repair kits or anything like that, but where, they, like you were saying, at least give the option to do that. Does that make sense?
I think so. Like, I don't have a problem with them retaining the rights as long as they're still supporting it. If they're still making it, they're still manufacturing it, they're still willing to support it and still making games for it, that's their proprietary console. If they want to be the only people who touch it, that's fine. Apple did that like forever. They've only recently, I think in the past 2 or 3 years, started letting more people like Verizon repair them. But
yeah,
when they stop, I think they should be required in some form or fashion to allow others to do it, instead of just saying, oh, you're shit out of luck. Your console you invested, 5-10 years of your life in, and who knows how many $1,000s it breaks. You're shit out of luck, bro. That's not a good business model, even if you're not really. I'm at an impasse here.
Well, if my Maytag refrigerator back there breaks, let's say the ice maker breaks, and I need to get a new condenser for that, I can call up Maytag, and they can say, "Hey, well, we can get a repair guy to you." And say, "No, just tell me what part it is, and I'll get the part and I'll do it myself." They're able to tell you what kind of part it is. Right now, like with Microsoft and Sony, my disk drive on my PlayStation screwed up. You're SOL if you call Sony on that kind of thing. And kind of what the article touches on is just the hard times that the independent guys are trying to do it. They're talking about the hard times the independent guys have trying to do repairs on things where there's not really like a manual for it. It talks about, the self-made guy, that sort of thing. And I totally understand that. Like, you remember like the first PlayStation 2, the big chunky ones with the disk drive that comes in and out? There's like a weird thing with that where there's a little cog inside that, sometimes it'll shift and it'll change like the angle at which the disc reads, and it'll stop reading certain kinds of discs. I remember working at the game store and people would be like, "Well, it reads DVDs. Why won't it read this PlayStation game?" It's because that little thing. And so I was able to go on the internet, fortunately, and find a little article for how to fix it. But that person who learned how to fix it, they had to learn that themselves.
Yeah.
This kind of gives them more options, I guess.
Yeah. I would like to see more options for repair, and in a $1 billion industry, it doesn't make sense that we don't have a better way to repair old systems.
Yeah, it's either you send it to them, pay a ridiculous amount, or you buy a new one. Seems pretty much it. I mean, of course, like as you mentioned, you can do your own. Which my favorite video for Ring of Death is someone that just picks up their Xbox, smacks the crap out of it, puts it back down, and starts working.
That did work for a while. And the whole thing with the Xbox is it was that was an FCC problem because they made them use the wrong kind of soldering because they classified it as a toy from the get, which was stupid. Ugh.
Agreed.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, the RAM chips and things like that would come unsoldered because they couldn't use lead, I believe it was, which was the superior kind of soldering at the time. I think they had to use something like copper, and it would fall apart due to the heat. The heat just couldn't stand up to it. And
man.
Yep, that's what happened. So, that's pretty much it. What we have as far as news goes, because we were kind of banking on Justin having a lot to talk about, and it looks like he does.
Ooh, I so do.
So, this is your third PAX?
Technically, yes. Third PAX, second is media.
All right. So, you've been to East once before, and you went to West once before? Yes?
Yeah. Well, previously, yes. East was the one. Previous East, which was 2014. No, 2015. I went as I paid to go in. I kind of went in to do my thing when I was working with Glitch Feed. And we paid to get in, then we just went to go ask everybody for interviews, which actually worked out kind of well. Yeah, then we got accepted to PAX West's actual media. Had a great time there, and same time this time around, PAX East going as media, so good stuff.
Cool. All right, so just give us the lowdown. What's
the good shit?
What's your highlights, lowlights? The standard things we like to see from a recap. I know you've already done 3 videos on it, but like your overall takeaway. What can you give us?
I know everybody wants to hear about the games, but my best thing is interacting with people. Interacting with developers and getting a chance to meet some of the people in the games media, among others, developers too, who influenced me and that greatly matter. So, I mean, I'm talking about, like, I got to meet up with Kind of Funny, I got to meet up with Giant Bomb, got to meet up some from IGN, all great. But games, God, so many good games I played, man. Like, and I'm not talking about any AAA games too, but except Mass Effect multiplayer, that's fantastic.
That's the only one I see on the list here. Everything else is like a lot of stuff I haven't heard of.
Yeah, which is great. So that's why I made a list for y'all. I mean, to get a breakdown each day, we did put out video I actually go over every single thing I do. So it's more like Ryan and Brad wasn't there for the conversation. Right. So I'm like curious, what do you want to know more about? By the way, low points, it was cold.
I could imagine a winter storm hitting Boston and you're there. So
yeah, Stone Chin was kind of rubbing in her face that he was just chilling in nice temperate weather with a cold glass of lemonade, and we're kind of going at him for it in a good old fun fight over Twitter.
All right.
I wrote "suck it, Stone and Snow" and sent it to him.
I mean, I've never been to any kind of convention like this necessarily. I mean, I've been to conventions before, but not anything like PAX. So, I mean, what happens? What's going on? What's the deal? Anything cool?
A lot of things cool. I mean, PAX is there to focus on the games and more independent developers. I mean, there were some AAA presence there. I mean, Blizzard's there, but essentially it was a Blizzard store. Bethesda was showing off a few things, but I think it's mostly like the Elder Scrolls Online.
Right.
And of course, like EA had some cool stuff. No, not EA. Sorry, I take that back. I mean, they had cool stuff. Yeah, Mass Effect, but they didn't have their own booth. Like Microsoft had a booth, Nintendo had a booth, PlayStation had a booth, and all of them showing off games. But for PlayStation, most of theirs were their indie titles, which is fantastic. Microsoft kind of had a mix of that. And Nintendo's booth is just freaking weird. They had the same setup they do at E3, where like they have like the fake diner. I keep forgetting what the other fake thing is. And there's the fake airplane where they have switches set up where you can sit there and play. It's like, oh, this is what it's going to be like. And center stage was like a Mario Kart tournament, which is pretty awesome. And in the back, they had most of the things that are out now that you could play, which unfortunately I couldn't get into. The line was just ridiculously long, and I didn't have time to stand in it.
Right.
Because I was really hoping to actually try out ARMS or anything as far as what Nintendo has brought to the floor.
Yeah.
But I mean, God, it's overloaded. I know I've put some pictures out there, but PAX is packed. It's so many people was there. It's kind of hard to move around the ground floor. You have to go with the flow of traffic. Don't try to swim upstream. It doesn't work well. But yeah, it's cool. It was sensory overload. Like at most stars, so many things to go and see, and that's kind of why I love going as media. I mean, not something that everybody could do, but like we get to book appointments, which just focused me to go on a few things. But I don't know, like the way I handled it. Of course, I hit my appointments, and then like I walked around. If there's something I could walk up to and play, I walked up to and played it.
Nice.
Which there's plenty of that too. But of course, the big things are stuff you have to wait in line for. Like people were waiting 2 hours to play Zelda Breath of the Wild.
What?
I was tempted to jump in that line with my Switch and play it. It's just like,
yo guys,
it's the same thing for the Switch line too. So
and
that's the one thing we talked about that I can't comprehend how. I mean, I can understand you want to try out the Switch, but for me personally, I can't play things that stay in a line for a long time to play things that either would be out very soon or something I can easily do at home. Like, for instance, before I had VR, I would be jumping all the PSVR stuff, but now I kind of don't. Did get into some Vive stuff, though, which is pretty neat. Which I kind of got on a list here if y'all want to talk about those.
Yeah. As you know, I've only just been brought into the VR world after that time that you made me play scary things. So I'd love to hear more about it as I grow into my own virtual reality.
I think the coolest VR thing I play there, granted, well, crap, hold on. I gotta take that back. I don't know which was the coolest because they're all great. Well, the two ones are kind of tied neck and neck is the American Dream, where you're pretty much Ed Gunhands. Like it's how you get through your life with just nothing but guns. And like how the best to explain the game, it's kind of like an amusement park ride. It's almost like going through like the world, Tomorrowland at Disney World, but with guns.
Huh.
Like, for instance, like, hey, you're a baby. How do you get your mother's attention? You better make some noise. So you start shooting the door. You can shoot everything else in the room, too. And then, like, they have, like, a cardboard mom, like, which actually feeds you with a gun, like, points the gun in your face, like, here it comes. But you actually have to, like, move your head and, like, move up to it to, like, act like you're eating it. And then, like, they have, like, hey, bagel factories. They have to get a hole in there somehow. So that's another one, too.
So basically, you just do the most menial things ever, but with like pistols.
Yes, and from what I hear, other guns are in there too. I'm not sure which ones though. They didn't disclose that.
I've found a couple gifs of this, and this looks ridiculous.
It's fantastic. The other thing that a friend mentioned to try out, and it's not just because he works there, but Rock Band VR is awesome. It's a Rock Band experience that crap. Of course, never experienced it's VR in Rock Band, but it's not like you expect it to be. It does not play the same way as Rock Band. It's more like it's a better feeling to play an actual guitar, like because you actually have to hit the strum, like hit the chords, which by holding the keys a certain way, like holding 3 certain ones or 2 certain ones, and you have to keep strumming like along with how the strum should be in the song.
So is it like just guitars, or like what is it, right, like now, normal Rock Band where you can play the different instruments?
Right now, just guitars. This is only for the Oculus at the moment, and how they like tell where the guitar is in space. It is a Rock Band guitar, but it has one of those hand controllers on the end of the guitar, and that's how it kind of tells which way it's leaning and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
And you do like pull it up to do your star power.
Like the old school times.
I should have went back and tried it again because like this is everybody's impression of it. They didn't get it till the end of the demo, like how to play. Because again, it's not the Rock Band you're used to. You go up there, it's like, oh man, I'm great at it. No, it's completely different. And so I should have given it a second shot. But either way, I had a great time. I attempted to get the Oculus, kind of because of that. It's really awesome. And as far as I know, that's the only thing right now they're planning to release that on.
Cool. Like to see the notes and everything, like you have to look down at the guitar like a
yeah, kind of. Well, that's how you tell your hand placement. But like, there's like up in the rafters, like it kind of looks like it's naturally there. That's where the tracks for the song are, so you know what chords you need to hit. But you don't know you're hitting them unless you know where it's at. But you kind of get an idea of how they place it because it does kind of like go like on a plane like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So as long as you got a good idea, but you can look down to see what you're hitting to.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no, I'm watching a little video of it now. That's pretty intense.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And then there's also like space. What's that? Space Pirate Trainer. That Newegg showed me. It's a shooter game, but it's a cool shooter game. I go more into depth to it in our videos that we have.
All right.
Which you can see now on youtube.com/ConColPod.
What kind of panels did you see while you were there?
Panels I went to was I did go to Kinda Funny, IGN, PAX Mania. I have to. It's great. And Giant Bomb.
What is PAX Mania? Please tell me someone ripped a shirt off.
When Greg's there, he usually does. Sadly, he wasn't there this time. I don't know if that's because of everything that's going on, or if it's just because he wasn't planning to do it this time around. Because he's playing as a general manager. But PAX Mania is essentially it's a fake wrestling thing, and they settle their matches by playing wrestling games. Like friends, and the greatest thing that happened this time is like they all had their own characters, their own personas. There are storylines, there are factions. Like Jeff Gerstmann used to be Dr. Tracksuit, who is just a non-licensed doctor who's always high on cocaine. And I don't want to give too much away because like you can go watch this, and I recommend you do if you're like into wrestling and into these personalities. And that's the thing too. It is set up by developers and personalities in the industry. Actually, started off by HarmonX. It started off as just a big Royal Rumble where they invited tons of personalities to come up on stage to like get in, fight, see how they do. Like I'm talking like Tim Schafer, everybody. It hasn't gotten to that. They haven't done that since, like as far as that level. But since then, they actually started breaking it down into storylines and everything. They keep developing it more and more.
Wow.
The greatest thing is Dan Riker, where he keeps coming on as like Dirty Dan Riker, and now he's New York Dan Riker, who he claims not to be Dirty Dan Riker. And the greatest thing is, like, after you pull off, he's like, I'm New York Dan Riker. Like, I'm so excited to be here. America's great. Like, a hot dog flew on stage. He seamlessly, like, just caught it. Like, he didn't catch the rapper or anything. He caught just a hot dog and just, like, like, just out of nowhere. So, again, if you like wrestling, if you love these personalities, check it out. It's a blast to watch. And there is, like, developing storylines going throughout them. But I'm pretty sure there's actually a site that's set up, like, in a 90s style with, like, bad, like, with the music playing in the background and everything.
Oh, God.
On
purpose.
It can't be much worse than the actual WWE now. So.
No, it's actually better than the WWE now. But, like, it's fantastic. Check them out if you haven't yet.
Wow.
Any other panels you're wondering about?
Was there anything that you didn't do that you really wanted to, but either time constraints or massive lines kept you from doing? I
did mention some Switch stuff.
Right.
There's a lot of development panels I wish I could saw too. Like kind of like giving you a good idea how to like develop your YouTube audience and stuff like that, which sometimes they're really great. Sometimes it's just a general stuff like, yeah, just get out there, use your social medias. But I'm not saying that's what it's like this time, but just saying that's what you can get.
Right.
I really wanted to see the Mass Effect thing. Also, the usual romance in games is usually pretty entertaining panel, which is made up from people from Bethesda, BioWare, and stuff like talk about relationship in games, where Mike Laylaw just comes in and he's awesome. So basically, it's mostly panels I didn't get to catch, and meeting up with friends and stuff like that because I had a lot of appointments to meet.
Right.
So, with as far as panel goes, I see that you went and saw the Kind of Funny panel with today. Finding out that Colin Moriarty is dropping off from there. He's out. Was there anything weird that was going on that kind of showed that? Or I know that they're saying that everything was amicable, but I know they've had a lot of flack recently because that first tweet he had.
Yeah, I will say Greg opens up with it. That Kind of Funny is always transparent. They always come right out. They try not to hide anything from you. If they could share it, they share it. And Greg opened up with that, kind of made it's pretty much like an address of the state for Kind of Funny. Just saying he feels like that's kind of not what they want to be. And that was about the tweet, but that's not why Colin left. And the fact to just be good to each other, be better to each other. That's what Kind of Funny is all about. It's very serious, very awesome opening. Then from there, it is kind of funny and is one of the most. They keep stepping up every time I see their panels. It was ridiculously good, and some dumb stuff happened there. Prince jumped on the stage and fell flat on his face. Go watch to figure out about that one. And Greg was giving beers to people. So,
nice.
Yes. I'm not to mention wearing the smallest shirt possible during the panel. Go watch it. It's good. He had someone help put it on because he couldn't get it on himself.
Wow.
He was also having people come up and touch his ass crack if they wanted to because he has severe plumber's crack at the time. Point is, Kind of Funny's great. Go watch your panel. It should be up pretty soon. But as far as just running into Kind of Funny, I went up to go get one of the regular PAX brochures day one. And all of a sudden, I feel myself grabbed and getting embraced. I'm just here constantly calibrating. And it's Greg Miller before I can even notice him. So I'm glad that we're making an impression. I also got to talk to Tim and Nick as well. One thing you do see from them, though, and to get to this whole thing that's going on Kind of Funny, is they all look mentally exhausted from this. And it's mostly because, from what I gather, is Colin wants to go in a different direction. And it's not, against them. They all support each other. But I think as you saw Colin, or if you haven't yet on the Rubin report, made a very good, he made impressions to the point he got invited onto Glenn Beck. And politics has always been in, Colin's blood. And he's finally embracing it. And that's the path he's taken. And that's why he's stepping back from Kind of Funny. The whole tweet thing, that was kind of like a symptom, as Greg explains it, from everything that was going on. So this actually kind of started beforehand, and now we finally kind of see why it's going on. So they're going into a weird transition right now, but still keeping strong, and they all support and love each other. They made that clear. There is no bad blood whatsoever in that.
Yeah, that's the thing I was worried about, because usually, the tweet wasn't, in all honesty, not a huge deal. Shouldn't have been. It was a cheap, stupid, low-hanging fruit joke, and I understand where people are coming from, but I can understand where he came from too, where it's not that big of a damn deal. But I was worried that it was, related to that somehow. Those little things can snowball into some crazy shit.
You might have seen Greg's response to that, and to give you an example how much that there's no bad blood. He talked about this panel. He's like, saw from my post, my letter to that. And it's I wrote it out, but who's our best writer? Colin Moriarty. He edited it for me.
So, on the subject of the joke, I think it's funny that that's relevant to our interest this week, but
yeah,
because I recently watched a stand-up special from Mike Birbiglia, and his point was that jokes aren't funny unless somebody's getting offended.
It's true, kind of.
It's very true,
and
you will always piss somebody off.
And I was like, that's a really good point. And then this comes up today. I didn't realize there was an issue going on last week with Kind of Funny until everything happened today.
And again, the whole issue it's not the joke. That's just something that's happening during it. And it's not even an issue. It's just they're going different paths. And actually, the best way to see it, and they're going to actually do a next Greggy or GOG show is Colin's going to be on it, and they're going to completely talk about this thing. And Colin's going to reveal as much as he can because he does have plans, things in place, but he's not ready to get into that yet. And if you watch, like, you can go watch this on their Twitch stream right now. Like, they talk about it on the morning show today. And like as they're talking about it, Greg's like, "Oh man," it's like I just don't know. I'm going to see Colin again. I mean, imagine when I get home, it's like I don't know what he's going to do. Then you see Colin just come in the background, like just start sweeping. That's it. So like they're all in support of each other. It's a very emotional time for them, though. It's weird, and there's a weird restructure they have to do now, but they'll be fine. And they both are supporting each other either way, and of course they're all going to still come back and intermingle when they can.
Good, because they are kind of funny. Like I do like watching their stuff.
This is not official. This is just my impression of it or interpretation.
So, did you see anything for Shadow of War while you were there?
They were showing some.
I've been on a huge kick for this, and like I was watching the gameplay trailer again, and
I believe there's a panel about it. I did not make it. I did not see Shadow War on the floor besides a video playing. That's about it.
Yeah, well, one of our informants has let us know that they actually have announced the Mithril edition for this.
Oh God!
Yeah, we went over like the massive amount of discrepancies in editions a couple weeks ago.
I hate this because like everybody's like doing the same thing now. Like there's this edition, this and this edition. They're like seem like tier packs, and it's freaking weird. I hate it.
Well, this one is like $300 and it's. I don't think it's $300 worth of stuff with it. I mean, it's
never come with like the Mithril chain shirt or some shit.
It comes with a 12-inch statue of a dragon fighting a Balrog.
Are you tired of statues? I'm tired of statues.
Well,
I am because I got no damn place to put them, and all my stuff is still in boxes.
There's only one statue that I would want, but I'll talk about that in a second. But this for $300, you get the 12-inch statue. You get the gold edition of the game. You get a premium case with the magnetic ring of power, because that'll get you laid, and then a bunch of in-game stuff too. So that seems like a lot. Brad, you got the Overwatch Collector's Edition because you've got the soldier statue, right?
Right.
How much did you pay for that?
$120
roughly.
I think I didn't even pay that much because I get 20% discounts on everything.
Yeah, that's not that bad. That's not unreasonable. I feel like $300 for this. That's a bit damn unreasonable, especially when it looks like a majority of the stuff is going to be like in-game DLC stuff.
The most expensive collector's edition I've ever bought was Halo 5. And again, I did not pay full price for that. I even got that at 20% off. But it has a really nice set of bookend statues with it of Chief and the new guy fighting. So,
Lock.
And that's cool. That's cool. Like if it was that much money, and it had stuff that you really liked and stuff that you would want to display and have as part of a collection, making it worth a collector's edition, that's cool, but $300 for this seems like crap. Like I remember paying like $90 for the Grand Theft Auto 4 collector's edition, and I still have all that crap. I still use that stuff. I have the lockbox. I think I keep my important documents in that lockbox. I still have. I have the duffel bag. I still use. That's my carry-on luggage whenever I get on a plane. Is that Rockstar duffel bag? Like I don't understand how people think that just putting a shitty statue in there is gonna make it all
right, that's the other thing with statues is they vary so much in quality these days. Like
and that's the thing. I can't do statues anymore too. And like you mentioned, the duffel bag. If it's a collector's edition with something I can use, for example, the Zelda one, this is an awesome case.
It really is. It's the same one they're selling at retail in the $30 packs with other stuff in it. Because I have the white one and they're exactly the same.
Yeah. Master Sword statue, not so much. Better quality than I thought, but wasn't worth it.
I'm happy with it.
I'm happier than I thought I'd be with it.
Yeah, I'm pleased with it. I would just want to do a spoof like image and like putting it down on the controller and be like, why the fuck doesn't this amiibo work? It was very expensive. Do
it. Oh, please do that. That'd be great.
Could you please shake that amiibo one more time? That was turning me on. Yeah.
Oh,
sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack.
No, sidetracks are good. I mean, it gets more content out of us, more talking. So,
but actually, like going in more of the panels, the coolest part about some of them too is the after the meetups, which I mean, we call them meetups. It's just everybody stops and talks to everybody. But like, got to talk to Greg. We saw some awesome stuff though, like more Prince stuff. There's a guy cosplaying as Prince. Greg was singing Raspberry Beret while Prince was chugging a beer. And then, like, it's just cool, like, interacting with him. Like, we got into, like, a nice, awesome conversation with Tim, like, a group conversation about Zelda in general and how awesome Breath of the Wild is and things to try out, which I think we're actually we talked about one of the things that we kind of want to mention later on. And same thing, IGN, I got to talk to Pierre Snyder, which is freaking awesome. And also got to talk to, Alana Pierce, Marty Sleva was there, and Christian Slater's there as well. But it's just nice, like, these people you think you can't meet, and you can just walk up and talk to them. They're happy to talk to you. They're happy to give you advice. And same thing with the Giant Bomb. I don't know why I don't acknowledge it as much, but they're kind of like my pillar of getting interested in games media. Like, I always played games, interested in games, but when I started, like, following games, the information about news, media, like GameSpot, early GameSpot in my time, like in 2000, was my spot to go. Jeff Gersman, Alex Navarro, all of them are who I followed. Of course, everything else happened. They're out of the Giant Bomb. Now they're all back kind of with GameSpot. But it was great meeting them for the first time.
That's good. Where was I at?
So, that was panels.
That was panels. So, I see. I mean, you obviously have a lot of games here. We've got some of them kind of checkmarked here. Yeah. You looked at Graveyard Keeper.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So the trailer doesn't really give a lot, but it was enough to get me interested. So tell me, are we right? Is this going to be as good as it looks and sounds?
It is dark Stardew Valley.
Yes!
And you feel horrible after you play it with the things you do.
I cannot wait to stream this. I want to stream
this. Instead of a farm, you have a graveyard. People bring bodies to you.
Right.
I mean, you do what you need to do. You need to pick them off the moor, go dig the grave, plop them in the grave, bury them like you should. Yeah, that's up to you. Do you want to harvest some parts before you do that? Maybe.
Ooh.
Does a guy see you with the body and question why you have that body, and yet you're having something pushing you to kill him? That can happen. Do you bury that body? Of course you probably should. Do you have a hot dog stand and run out of meat?
Oh, no.
I'm having flashbacks to college.
Yeah, so this is what that is. It is a very dark Stardew Valley. It's Stardew Valley, but instead of crops, you have dead people.
So do you think that the depth is there, or do you think it's going to be kind of short?
Oh, no, absolutely, depth is there. Like, you can, like, build out more spots. For instance, the crafting's really cool. Like, for me to make a headstone, I had to chop down a tree to get the lumber. Bring the lumber to the mill, cut them down into planks, which, you just bring them to a workbench, and then, like, kind of craft it. And kind of how it works is you sleep to get energy, and energy, like, each thing takes a certain amount of time to craft, and that depletes your energy. So that determines how often you sleep.
Is it going to be compelling enough for me to sink 60 hours into it over a weekend like I did with Stardew Valley?
Very possibly. And no plans for the handhelds right now, but I really hope they go for the Switch. I think they have it in mind, but they're not confirming anything.
I want everything like this on the Switch. Everything.
I do too. Like, that's one thing I really took away from PAX is I am so in on the Switch now. For games like this, I'm hoping two games that are confirmed to be on the Switch, which Toe Jam Earl has announced will be coming to the Switch. Yooka-Laylee is going to be on the Switch, which I keep forgetting that. So, God, it's already working for me.
What is Yooka-Laylee?
Banjo and Kazooie. Different characters. Like, literally, my experience with Yooka-Laylee, I put it down, but literally, I went to it, I picked up the controller, I played for a couple minutes, I'm like, that's exactly what I expected, and put it back down.
Is that the one with, like, the fruit bat and the chameleon thing?
Yes. Yes, it's the original Rare team that no longer works at Microsoft.
Yeah. But what I mean, like, I put it down, like, that's exactly what I thought. Just like, I didn't need to play it anymore. It is what I think it is. And it's a Rare platformer like Banjo. It's just different characters.
My only concern about it is that it seems, based on the gameplay and the trailers I've seen, it seems a little light on collectibles and enemies in the world.
Nope. It's not light on collectibles.
I mean, because it's like the two videos I've seen, it's like they'll pick up what's the main collectible? It's not music notes. It's feathers, maybe. I don't know. But they'll be in like little groups of 3, and you'll see one group of 3 every 5 minutes. And then,
hell no! There's definitely collectibles. Expect it at least as long as the game is Banjo-Kazooie.
All right.
And I mean, they make great jokes. They even make dick jokes. There's a snake named Trouser.
Yeah, Trouser Snake, and he wears a pair of pants.
He does wear a pair of pants.
I get it. It's like a dick.
Yeah.
Speaking of dicks, you got a chance to play some Conan Exile, didn't you? That worked out well.
It's more I didn't play it. It's more I got a lot of information for it. I got to meet up with them, talk with them a bit. Went over the big updates they have coming on. One is to build it in catapults for sieges. So you can actually siege areas, and with the catapults, you got to build them. You got to load a stone onto them, and you can determine how much stone you load, and that determines how hard it hits or how far it hits. And there's like real-time destruction when you hit a wall too, and this is designed for like multiple players to set them up and do it. There's also going to start adding more dungeons, so because Conan Exile is not just a survival game; it's a survival game with quests you could do, with dungeons you can explore, dungeons that also have puzzles in them to like Zelda level puzzles and bosses with loot. They're also going to do more costume configurations like dyeing clothes. That's going to be in the game. I did talk to him about, and I put it politely, how is the reception for the maturity of the game? And they said, honestly, we're not getting any flag from it. It's like, we want to make it in the spirit of Conan is. We believe that's it. And we let you play at the level you're comfortable with, like with the different editors. I'm glad you put it there for streaming and YouTube purposes. He's like, yeah, but Twitch rules. As long as it doesn't focus on it, you could do it. And I kind of replied back, it's like, yeah, but all the streams I've seen, they kind of just put the camera in front of them and twirl around. A lot of cool information. Like I tried Conan Exiles a little bit because it's very early access right now. I couldn't get into it at the time, but now I really want to see how in depth this thing is. A lot of crafting, a lot of stuff. It just seems like a cool game, man.
Yeah, I got to play the early access for it, and you can check out the video for that at youtube.com/concalpod. Wink, wink. A lot of good stuff there, but I've never been a huge fan of survival games. I've never been a big fan of anything where I have to punch trees or rocks in order to progress, and so that it just kind of felt like Minecraft with pretty pictures. You know what I mean? And look, dicks flapping in the wind, but I feel like I'm excited. Everything that you're telling me, I knew about the dying system, and I knew a little bit more about the catapults, but getting more information about it, it sounds like it's actually going to be something that's going to be have a little more depth than what it has right now, and I'm really excited to give it a try.
That's what I'm excited about too. It's not just about running around, surviving as long as you can. There's things you can do.
And any game where you have to you have to earn your own pants, I feel like that's something worth playing.
It's a game worth playing. Another game I played, kind of crafting survival stuff like that. I might have mentioned, I mentioned this in the videos too. Subnautica that I played. It's when you're stuck on the ocean planet. You kind of got to craft survive. Osiris is early access right now, which is essentially that, but in space.
Oh.
And a lot of stuff you can do on there too. They also have quests to kind of guide you, so you're not just surviving. Granted, Subnautica also has a story to continue developing.
Is it from the same makers?
No,
okay.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I gotta double check, but I don't think so. But it's they definitely do mirror each other a bit.
Okay.
But from what I get from Osiris, they're not there yet, but it kind of seems like eventually, because you can travel in space, you can go to different planets. There's only a couple at the moment. But it also seems like eventually you could build a space station, which is awesome. I mean, that's like what's on the menu when it boots up, but they're not at that point yet.
Cool.
Something to keep an eye on. So what else we got? What else you're interested in?
Looking through here. We touched Yooka-Laylee. What else? We talked on Kind of Funny. There were
Full Throttle. Is that the same Full Throttle I'm thinking of, where it's Tim Schafer Full Throttle?
It absolutely is, and it's as good as you remember it. If you play Day of the Tentacle or Monkey Island remakes, you have an idea what you get into. It is the same game, but like they completely went over in with hand-drawn art over everything. And actually, for the old stuff, I believe Tim mentioned that they actually had to re-render the old bikes because those assets were lost.
Wow.
But it does the same thing. It is Full Throttle. You get hit one button, so it goes back to the classic, and hit one button, so it goes back to the hand painting, and does it like seamlessly. And that was one of those things, like I played it, it was like, yep, that's Full Throttle. Great. I never really got to play Full Throttle, but like I understand like what it is. I was like, okay, that's all I need to know.
Is it gonna have the scum system?
I didn't get that far, but it's everything that's in Full Throttle is in there. Like the original one will be in there.
Cool. Yeah.
And it will be on the Vita.
Oh. Yeah, like all those old LucasArts games with like the scum system. That's like the walk to, look at, open door stuff.
Oh,
that's what the scum system is.
Oh, sorry, I didn't get that part. Yeah, it's that, but it's in the Full Throttle style.
Yeah, but all those are great, and it's really cool to see that they're re-releasing those. Because I just remember being as a kid, playing Escape from Monkey Island, Maniac Mansion, Day of the Tentacle, and all that stuff, and they're coming out with the remasters, and they're making them so much prettier now. But aside from the fact that if you never played it, you get a chance to play it now. I just feel like if they keep doing this, the games that I really enjoyed as a kid, when I have kids, they might be able to play it and get that same enjoyment. That seems really cool to me.
Right.
I mean, and they're not dead too. Tim Schafer is still doing those types of games here and there. Which, God, I can't believe I forgot the name of the one he kickstarted.
Didn't he give Josh eyelash lice, or was it the other way around?
Other way around. Speaking of that, though, like the VR Psychonauts is essentially a VR adventure game, like point and click, like adventure game almost.
What? How did they do that?
I mean, it's like you look at the items, and the whole thing is like they call it clairvoyance. It's basically like you're transporting to different people's minds, and that's how you like move around the area.
Huh.
But like you can hover stuff, and certain items go to certain things. You have to do stuff in certain orders to progress. So it's essentially a adventure game, which I need to pick up because it is out now, and I missed that when you pre-order, you could get Psychonauts for free on PlayStation. But whatever, I'm gonna pick that up eventually.
I feel like I have Psychonauts like 6 different ways.
I think everyone does.
Yeah.
I still never finished it, but I have the opportunity should I want to.
What is Songbringer? You have it on here twice. Is this a panel?
Oh, no. Songbringer is a game. Art style wise, it's was it Sword and Sorcery? What's the name of that game? Actually, I need to look up see if it's the same creators. Sorry I didn't do that earlier. I don't have that information. But like very pixely. But it's essentially, and not essentially, it is a Zelda game, like old OG Zelda. To the map, to how you travel around, to how you enter dungeons, all of it. And the game itself is procedurally generated when you make a new game. So not like it builds itself as it goes along. Like every time you make a new game, things are going to be in different places.
Interesting. So what's the difference between Songbringer and Songbringer Part 2?
Oh, Part 2. That's because my initial appointment, the guy I was supposed to talk to, let's just say things happen. And he wasn't able to make it while I was there. So
okay.
I was able to play it, but I wasn't able to get like the information while I was playing it. So I came back for another one to kind of get that. And also beat the boss. They dropped a mid-game boss in there just to see how people do, and I freaking beat him. And the guy says like, I had not seen someone do that yet. I'm like, I like games.
I like games.
The first time I heard about Songbringer was actually on or through Game Informer, because I still get that apparently, and they were saying that it's like that it is like Legend of Zelda, but it's Legend of Zelda plus Mass Effect plus just creepy rogue game.
Oh, you're
So
also on
that's
Asset
not
Trip.
Oh, sweet. This game sounds
also,
right up my alley.
It's couch co-op too. He has this like orb following him around, and like when you kill things, like it scans them and for resources or stuff like that. It's kind of like Super Mario Galaxy. Like the second player will control that orb.
Yeah, I really like the graphics on this too. It
Cool.
seems it's so weird to me that I can see all the new games that are coming out that have the crazy beautiful 3D graphics and rendering, and it just looks amazing with their god rays and hot dog flappings and what have you. But there's just something really awesome about like a really super simple pixel game.
No, like pixel art, like done well, which most of them are, is fantastic. And like other games I checked out that are pixel art is Chasm and Dead Cell, which is both great games. Both of those are very similar games as far as the genre. But it's cool. Like definitely check it out. I'm planning to. It's especially for like Zelda. Again, like as far as OG Zelda, like even the map system's the same. Like squares. When you like look at it.
You have. Go ahead.
Well, no, you go ahead.
You have Flipping Death on here. Isn't that the one of the Switch indies?
Yes. God, that's a hard game to explain.
The trailer looked interesting. So, what did you do with it? Did you play it? Did you just talk to him about it?
Both. I played it and talked to him about it. Oh God. I really don't know how to explain this game. Like, so there are two different worlds. You're essentially someone who died and ends up being like, a temp of death because death has stuff to do. That's not killing people. So there's two worlds. One's the dead side, one's the living side. First of all, like art style in the dead side, very, very Tim Burton-esque, and he even says this. And that part is like a platformer. A 2D platformer. There's like these ghost sprites kind of going around, and you have to collect them. That's kind of like almost your resources. And then you like see essences of people that have numbers over them. Those resources go into them to possess them in the living world. And then as you possess them in the living world becomes kind of a puzzle game. Like there is something that has to happen. Each person you possess has a certain ability, and you just kind of got to figure it out from there. But like it's kind of ridiculous. Some abilities are like one of them is like I was controlling us dragging a guy around by controlling his tongue. And it's very like very puppetish how you control them around or how they move. And like he's making comments like, "Wait, can I pull my tongue back in?" And I ran around licking people. I didn't get into the game enough to actually solve one of the puzzles because like it's just that the way I was playing it, being in a PAX, a lot of things happening. But it looks really cool. Yeah, definitely going to be on the Switch. I want to look more into it, and I do get a little more into description in one of our PAX videos, as of everything I'm talking about here.
All right.
So with conventions, I mean, it's always great to go and meet the people that you want to meet and meet your legends, make friends, have fun, play games, see stuff. But from my personal experience, it's not just what happens at the convention. It's what happens outside the convention. Did you get to go any like cool parties or anything?
No, there's a lot of cool parties happening along. I just did not know they were happening or when they were happening. So sadly, no, my post-convention stuff, besides I got to hang out with some like kind of funny fans, and we went to go to dinner, but after that, besides that, I was really lame.
Old man. What's the weirdest thing you saw?
Weirdest thing I saw?
Yeah.
I mean, besides trying to go to one of the bars at night and just seeing a bunch of drunk people,
Listen, me and Brad found a canister of medical marijuana, and then we were accosted by a purple furry. So we know how it goes. Tell us.
Nothing on that level. It's mostly like the cosplay and how the people react around the cosplays, including cosplay people. Oh, sorry. Wow, God, why can't I think of the name? There was a lot of awesome Overwatch cosplays there. And one was doing Reinhardt. There we go. Someone was doing like a huge ass. I guess this would be technically life-size Reinhardt. Like, it was a whole rig he had set up that had to, like, assemble the suit. And then, like, while he's walking around, like, a lot of the Overwatch players just started following him. So, follow your tank type deal. So, just a lot of crazy things like that.
That's cool. The guy who does Reinhardt's voice, did he happen to make an appearance?
I honestly don't know. And that's the other part, the sad part. There's a lot of things that happened there that I just wasn't aware about because it's just being busy. Or
well, it's huge. I mean, there's no. It's like the Smithsonian, but I guess cool.
One man covering it's not enough. But yeah, pretty much.
What's the actual attendance numbers for this thing?
God, I don't even know. Let's check right now. PAX East 2017.
Did you, while you're looking that up, did you get to see Gabe and Tycho?
I did not. Wish I did. I can't find anything, but I mean, I know it's here somewhere. Like, it's huge numbers. God, it looks like 2,000 is like 6,000 people, 60,000 people. I mean, like, I don't. That doesn't sound right. People. A lot of people. Like, I took some pictures. Like, literally, you can't see floor. You saw just a sea of people. It was bananas. I'm trying to look on it right now. I know it says it somewhere. It's just somebody should have looked up beforehand, but didn't.
That's fine. There'll be an infographic for it eventually.
Oh yeah, definitely.
How many pages? All right. I thought I had something, but I don't.
Anything that really disappointed you while you were there? I know you were joking about one of them earlier, where you're like, you don't ask about that. You'll be disappointed. But was there anything
which one was that? Oh no, you said MSI. It's not that like nothing wrong against MSI. It's just like the appointment wasn't what I thought it'd be. They're just showing like the laptops and stuff they had there. Like, oh man. Also, that was a weird confusion of who I was supposed to talk to. But that was just like a whole mix of stuff.
My name's Justin. I'm from Constantly Calibrating. Will you answer my questions?
It's kind of how it was. And like the only name I had is the person that set it up who doesn't work with MSI, and then they're like, they actually like he had the wrong booth. They went in and started laughing. I'm like, what? And then I got in contact with the guy, figure out who I was supposed to talk to, and we did it from there. Anyways, that was that. Other disappointing things, it's just me sometimes when meeting up people, it doesn't go the way I wanted to, where I just kind of blab and quite don't convey what I actually want to say, and it's kind of due to exhaustion and just mental blocks. But as far as PAX itself, it was great.
All right.
We know nothing about what that's like at all. We always say exactly what we mean to say and don't ramble on like I do.
I hate you, Ryan.
I love you. Trying to keep it positive, and you fuck it up.
All right. So it looks like Josh is not going to be joining us tonight. So
I don't think he is.
What?
Oh, by the way, Dead Cell. I actually like Dead Cell's one of the games I kind of like picked up and really enjoyed. I don't know. I just popped up right now. It's very Castlevania-esque, very Symphony Night-ish. But it's also kind of roguelike too, which that kind of rubs me the wrong way because I'm kind of out of roguelikes. But it is really good, cool pixel art, fun action. Same thing with we already talked about Chasm before. About the same thing, but Chasm's like actually procedurally generated as you're going throughout the stage with the algorithm they have.
Right. So, what?
I also got to talk to Dan Edelman. That was a nice talk.
All right.
Go on.
I'm sorry. I'm a little bit off tonight. So is there anything you would like to, close out with for PAX? Since I think we've got everything covered that we had questions on, and you've got the three videos. Excuse me.
They just keep getting better and better. First PAX East I went to was, for me, kind of lackluster. Granted, I didn't know how to tackle it because I never went to a convention like that. Granted, we've been to RTX. The RTX PAX are different. Actually, I take that back. RTX now is kind of becoming a PAX. It's worth going to. You're a gamer. I don't want to say it's the best, like your first one you should go to, but it's a good one to go to. If you're looking for a convention to go to as a gamer, go to one that's more focused. For example, if you're a PlayStation fan, aim for PSX. That's that's your people. You kind of know what you're getting into. But it's a blast. If you can make it. It's good for attendees. It's good for media. There's a lot of lines, but if you handle PAX right, you don't need to stand in those lines. You'll play those games eventually. Like, that's the sad part. The games that have lines for them are the games that are coming out soon. from big publishers. Go play the indie stuff. Go play the stuff you can walk up to. You'll have a great time. And take notice of who's walking around you. You can actually meet some people that you've probably been looking forward to meet.
All right.
Because they are on the show floor. They are walking around along with you, checking out games. One person I kept bumping into, but I didn't get a chance to talk to him, was Austin Walker. So stuff like that.
Out amongst the plebeians.
Is the food any good or is it shitty?
It's PAX shitty. It depends what you get. I got parfaits. That's enough to like keep me.
You lived on
parfait. Energy. I lived on parfait, sir. But it was like $6 too.
Jesus. Can you bring stuff in your bag?
Absolutely.
Good. All right.
Yeah, they don't woodstock you.
And how have you fared avoiding the PAX plague? You sound pretty good right now.
I did pretty well. Like I make sure to not eat anything with my hands until I wash them. Like I will only mess with stuff. Like reason why I got a parfait. Like I'm not going to be touching the food itself.
Right.
Wash your hands when you can. Definitely wash your hands before you eat. Sanitizer's the thing until you can actually get to a sink. Don't try to put your hands near your mouth if you haven't washed them yet. And that's about it.
Good stuff. All right.
Yeah, just take precautions.
Well, with Josh not coming back tonight, I'm gonna table the further Breath of the Wild discussion. I think he probably needs a little more time with it. I don't know how far you've gotten.
Do you want to talk about the chicken thing in that, though? Because that's one thing I talked about with Tim Geddes.
Yeah, let's talk about chicken.
I actually really want to hear about that because I saw it on the donkey video. Basically, in Breath of the Wild, you can pick up one of the chickens, and as in all Zelda games, if you attack the chickens, they will attack you. But apparently, if you're holding a chicken, it will, like if an enemy hits you while you're holding the chicken and they hit the chicken, they will be attacked by chicken. And that seems really cool.
Actually, no, Tim Geddes talked about this on their panel. Yeah, he used that on a boss, and it worked.
What?
World boss.
I want to talk about one of the boss. He didn't say which one specifically, but it was one of the world bosses.
Yeah, it would be impossible to get them into one of the dungeons
unless you're really persistent. But actually, yeah, because each dungeon kind of like has a setup that goes to them. It seems.
Yeah, the way you have
the chicken, do the puzzle, pick up the chicken, continue.
Well, the way you have to actually arrive at the dungeons, it would be impossible to take the chicken with you.
Yeah, I agree.
So, like, chicken in a bottle?
No, there's no bottles in this game.
Wow, there isn't.
Which is both a relief and kind of like, aw.
It's sad because I've been putting my milk in a bottle that kind of reminiscent the whole time, building up hype to it.
I'm kind of glad there's no bottles. So I think that's going to cover everything for this week because Josh is the one who had something to say about Logan, and I still hadn't seen it. So maybe I can go see it before we talk about it. So unless you guys,
should.
Unless you guys have anything else to touch on tonight before we leave, I'm going to say let's get on out of here.
Yeah, I was checking the chat real quick. Sorry if I've been seems like ignoring it just to make sure if we have any questions there, but it kind of looks like we don't. So never mind. Cut that part out.
All right. So, we thank everyone for joining us. As always, you can find us here Monday nights at 9 Eastern, twitch.tv/Constantly Calibrating. We are online on Facebook. Just look us up, Constantly Calibrating. We are on, we are on Twitter at ConCalPod. You can find all of our relevant links to everything at just constantlycalibrating.com. Of course, our YouTube stuff is youtube.com/ConCalPod. And you can find our individual handles. I am at OG Zenos. Ryan is at RyDaddyF. And Justin is at The Aging Gamer. And of course, Josh, who is here but not here, is at Bear Punch. So again, we look forward to hearing from all of you. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us some comments, some feedback. Maybe we need to throw out an email address. I've been thinking about that. Maybe that's something we need.
No, we got it. Is it info@constantlycalibrating.com?
Maybe we need specifically like a podcast questions. This is something we'll talk about later. So, I think that's going to cover it.
Yeah, for podcast questions, Facebook group or just tweeting at there is a good way to go.
For now.
Yeah, like Brad was saying, check us out on Facebook. Give us a like. Invite your friends who might be interested in it. We've been putting out a lot of videos recently. We've got 3 for PAX coming up. We've got a review of River City Ransom coming up. And every Saturday-ish, as long as the planets align the way we're supposed to, we have our Catch-All, which is a really entertaining news show. And this weekend, we actually talked about Overwatch and sex dungeons. So it's definitely worth a listen.
All right.
And watch.
So
I just made Josh say Daddy Ryan chases helpless little Torblets, and I was so proud of that.
Nice.
So with that, we thank you all for joining us, be it the live cast, be it the recording later. And we see you next time. We bid you a good sign off.
Roadhog gay bathhouse. All on the Catch-All, baby.
All right.